I received an email from Chris this week, and he's under a tremendous amount of stress and noticed that he's craving a lot of simple sugars. He's noticed that he's craving crackers, cookies, chips, and was wondering, is that just a lack of willpower, discipline, or could there be something else that's contributing to it? And I want to give Chris a high five knuckle punch because I like the fact that you're paying attention that there might be something bigger than just not having willpower. If you're following me here on YouTube, I'm very comfortable that you're committed to your health, wellness, and performance. So I would encourage you to step back and ask yourself, you have the discipline, you're watching these videos, you have the discipline, you're committed to your strength training and your cardiovascular and your flexibility and your diaphragmatic breathing, things that we've talked a lot about here on this channel. What people do not understand is that the body cannot differentiate where stress comes from. If you're running the Garmin dashboard, and let's say you're watching this video at the end of the day, I want you to look at your stress score. How does it add up in relationship to yesterday, the last 7 days? If you look at the screen right here, this is a stress report that comes on the Garmin dashboard, which allows you to be able to look at the last 7 days of stress. Now think about how important this is. At the end of today, did your body get exposed to what we refer to as an accumulation of stress that far surpasses what you've seen over the last week? What about looking at a 4-week window? I get this question quite often. Hey Rob, is a stress score of a 28 high or low? Well, let's look at your historical stress score. Look at the screen right now. If I look at your stress score from today and I compare it against the last 4 weeks, do I see some level of consistency? Now, this is where we'll come back to the original question. Why is Chris craving simple sugars? Well, after doing a little bit of research and discussing, and not that I'm trying to be nosy, but I am trying to help you guys look underneath the hood a little bit deeper. Chris is going through a divorce. Chris just recently changed a new job. How much stress do you think the body is going through? Because at the end of the day, your body doesn't know where stress is coming from. I always refer to stress in the 4 quadrants of life: personal, professional, financial, and athletic. At the end of the day, however you expose the body to stress, it all gets surmised on that little gray dot on the Garmin dashboard, which is great, it's convenient, but we always have to ask ourselves, how did we handle today? After you get up in the morning, was your body able to get enough food and sleep today to be able to legitimately recover during the night? That's how we get our body battery tomorrow morning. Remember, when we look at body battery, it's essentially your ability to absorb yesterday. Look at the screen real quick. If we look at your body battery, you started the day at 100, you ended the day at a 25, you essentially burnt 75 points. We refer to it as called burning matches. So you end today at a 25, were you able to bounce back up to 100 again? That's where we look at stress during the day, getting enough food and sleep to recover during the evening to be able to bounce back and absorb the stress. Now let's come back to Chris's question once again. If your stress cumulatively day after day after day just keeps escalating, the pancreas cannot differentiate stress from a car accident. Most of us know that as fight or flight, or the stress from bankruptcy, bad relationship, being dehydrated during a workout, making a workout too hard intensity-wise, or maybe too long. Maybe we go to work and we don't like our boss. Maybe we have a sick child or a sick relative. When I go through those different scenarios very quickly, you've got to understand that your pancreas produces insulin when you're under a lot of stress. So are we making excuses for Chris craving simple sugars, cookies, and crackers? No. What we did realize is his stress score just keeps going up and up and up because of what he's dealing with personally. The body's under a state of stress, i.e. fight or flight. The pancreas produces insulin. Insulin starts to make you crave simple sugars. We are by no means making an excuse for indulging on those types of anything that comes out of a bag, a box, a can, or a wrapper, as we always say, is processed. We don't live in a glass house. Sometimes you have to eat those things, but for the most part, those are not the healthiest food items that you can eat. However, if you're craving them, we always want to ask ourselves, Could it be a byproduct of excessive stress? If you submit your body or expose your body to too many chronic consistent days of stress, you get a chronic state of stress fatigue known as chronic fatigue syndrome. Your adrenal system tries to play keep up, can't keep up anymore. You end up with now a disease, Epstein-Barr, chronic fatigue, Addison's disease, all because the body is exposed to too much stress. And I like the way that Chris was able to identify this. Why am I finding myself craving simple sugars all of a sudden? Because of this stress. So I want you to be the same type of student. When you find your behaviors kind of getting out of the mold, not to try to go down a really long rabbit hole here, hormones play a significant role. In fact, one of their most important roles is that they're communicators in the system. So the external behavior is being driven by a hormonal communication. I don't want that to be complicated. Chris noticed that he's craving simple sugars where he normally doesn't. Back the train up, the body's excessively stressed, it's producing high levels of insulin, and as a byproduct, he's craving simple sugars. My hope is that that clarifies for you the next time you find yourself wanting to go to something that's in a box, a bag, a can, or a wrapper. Look at the stress that you're going through. Go for a low intensity, go for a walk. Splurge and buy a real power salad. Even if go to your favorite restaurant, get some high quality salmon or chicken or beef, tofu, whatever your protein source is. But what I want you to do is give the body what it needs. Reduce the stress and give it the nutrients that it needs, preferably, most importantly, MCT oils, medium chain triglyceride oils. Those are the ones that your body uses to feed the adrenals that quiets everything down. So now you've closed that loop. You're going to see those cravings go away. I know this is a relatively long video in relationship to the others, but I have a responsibility to all of you to make sure that we set the context, explain what's going on, and always provide a solution. So thank you for sticking with me this long. Chris, thank you for your question, and I hope you guys are comfortable enough. If you happen to have a personal question, feel free to send it in to us, contact@coachrobb.com. Every single day here on YouTube, Coach Robb Beam's channel, we're going to be answering a question, so please subscribe, turn on the notifications. Appreciate the time you've given me today, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.